Welcome to Are You Chemistry GCSE Ready? This playlist takes you through loads of example questions and guided solutions for every single topic in your chemistry GCSE. So it's a perfect way for you to test your chemistry knowledge. If you feel like you need a quick review or you just want the ideal revision companion for these videos, then make sure to download my free chemistry GCSE revision notes. I've linked them in the description below. Or if you're ready, let's dive straight in.
Okay, let's move on to not the most exciting topic, but probably pretty useful, water treatment. So first questions here, what is potable water? What is wastewater? So just a term that you need to know, potable water means water that is safe to drink. So it really isn't necessarily pure water. In fact, it's not pure water. You will have small amounts of other substances dissolved within it, but it's safe to drink. Wastewater, however, is water that has been used either in the home or agriculture or in industry, and is very much not safe to drink. So we might want to treat some of that wastewater so that we could use it again. Okay, and is potable water the same as pure water? Does potable water have to be neutral? So I did just answer that a second ago, really. No, potable water will contain some dissolved substances, so it is not pure H2O. And does it have to be neutral? Not exactly, but it does have to be close to neutral for it to be drinkable water. Okay, why do we use sedimentation, filtration, chlorination in the UK instead of distillation? So the short answer to this is because that process uses less energy and we will only use distillation if we really need to. Just to remind you what those different things are, so filtration is where we filter out some big things from our water. So things like large twigs or plastic bags, anything big that we can filter out from our water straight away. And then sedimentation is the smaller particles. So you can add iron sulfate or aluminium sulfate into your water. That makes some of the smaller particles clump together and they sink to the bottom as a sediment so that they can be separated out easily as well. And then the final bit, chlorination, that is when you pump bubbles of chlorine into your water. And the point of that is to kill bacteria and microbes in your water that might still be knocking around. Distillation is like distillation that you looked at in separating mixtures, where you have to boil, for example, your water or evaporate your water, and then it will condense, leaving behind things like salt that was in your water in the first place, so for seawater. Okay, and because we have a lot of water that we can use in the UK, surface water and groundwater, we don't need to use seawater, so we don't need to use distillation. And distillation uses a lot of energy and also is very expensive. But some hotter, drier countries might be forced to use this method of distillation. Okay, next question is, what problem might occur if the sedimentation step were skipped? So the solid particles might clump together a little bit in later steps, and what that would end up doing is clog our water system. So that would be the problem. And why do countries near the equator rely on distillation of seawater to obtain their drinking water? As we said, it's quite hot and dry. Don't have a lot of ground or surface water. Surface water is the water that comes from like rivers and lakes, and groundwater is water that gets trapped in rocks under the ground. Okay, and so you might have to use seawater, or they might be forced to use seawater, and so this distillation process is the only process they can go through.
Just before we go into the tips and tricks section, if you do want some extra advice to getting that grade 9 for your GCSE, then why not download my free 20-minute exam success guide? Just click on the link in the description below. I'm going to give away all of my best advice and secrets and completely for free, so why not?
Really many tips and tricks in this section, other than to say this topic exists and it contains a lot of recall and, to be honest, not really a lot of skills. But you can pick up really easy marks for that same reason. So make sure you know the different types of water, Okay, surface water, your groundwater or seawater that you might use for your water treatment, and then make sure you know the different steps for different processes. Okay, so for distillation, what would you do for seawater, and filtration, sedimentation, and chlorination as well. Okay, and don't be afraid to rely on your common sense with a few of the explain questions in this topic. Um, Make sure you pay attention to the mark schemes when you're doing your past papers and when you reach that part of the course for these.